Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have something to confess.
I have the craziest story to tell you too. We need to meet.
Okay, let's meet at the studio.
Okay, I'll be there in 5.
My name's Priscilla De La Torre,
And my name is Jordan Hemp,
and you're listening to Off the Market Confessions.
where we talk about real stories, real estate, and real life. Welcome to Off the Market Confessions. We are your hosts, Jordan and Priscilla. We're so excited to get this show finally started. It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of thought and effort behind this, and we're really excited to have this moving forward at this point. So, Priscilla, thank you for being my co-host on this. I cannot wait to see where this takes us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited.
What is Off the Market Confessions to you?
Off the Market Confessions to me is a podcast where we talk about some real estate stuff, but mainly what happens outside of real estate, and maybe sometimes the fun, juicy stories that people want to know that, you know, they don't really know that happen.
I think for me, Off the Market Confessions is a playful name for us to encompass the side of real estate that people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as we might make it sound like we're going to confess some
Juicy
tea or something, we may not always have that, but
yeah.
we do have funny stories, and we have advice, and we have tips, and we have stories from guests who will be on the show to show who's been there and done that. And so that way we can give that as advice or as a lesson to somebody else who is hopefully wanting to buy a home or sell a home, or maybe somebody who wants to join real estate or just the industry in general. And so that's kind of what it means to me, is like, I think this is the stuff that is hopefully going to show you the behind the scenes.
And really, I think too, it's going to show you who we are. I know some of you guys might know us from either you've met us or social media, but I think this, you'll get to gauge a little bit more of who we are and why we do what we love, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that as much as this is part of our job, this is going to be as personal as it gets. And I think we're going to show a real look at the inside of our lives. And I'm really excited for that, because I get to connect on that level with my clients. But what's a better way to have that kind of personal first touch with somebody who might become a client later than doing this? I think this is the way to make that happen. So, Priscilla, tell me a little bit about the backstory of how you got into real estate. Who were you and how did you get here?
How far back do you want me to go?
Birth.
Just kidding. Well,
maybe high school.
Okay. So I went to Davis High School. I started working at a shoe store called Finish Line. This was back in 2009. I'm old, so don't ask how old I am. So I started working in 2009, shoe sales. There was not too much room for growth there. So then I moved into cell phone sales. I've always been in sales, just for a long, long time. And after that, after AT&T, there was also no more room for growth. So at the time, I reached out to my realtor, which is Corey Burke. Shout out to her, because she's amazing. But I reached out to her after I bought my house. This was in 2021. And I told her, well, more like late 2020. But I told her, like, hey, I think I want to get into real estate. She happened to be the coach here at Keller Williams. And yeah, I came, I toured. She told me all about it. And because I've been in sales, I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And yeah, I got my license within 4 months, passed my test on the first try.
Congrats.
Yeah. It's kind of been history since there. Now I'm about to hit 5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you are a top producer. And
been a top producer, actually.
Been for a while.
Well, since I started, there's something here at Keller Williams called capping, but even my first year that I did this, I capped. So every year since then, I've been a capper, which I didn't know was such a huge deal, but apparently it is.
It is.
So yeah, it's been a fun ride.
Very few people get their license and cap in their first year, and even their second year. And then maintaining that on top of that every year following is a huge thing.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us, now that we talked about me, tell us about you. What got you into real estate?
A little bit about me, backstory. My partner and I, we live in Sela currently, and I was born in Tri-Cities but raised in Moxie. So I've always been within the community around here. I've known it my whole life. But after high school, I decided to go to WSU for 2 years and I got my bachelor's degree in public relations. So when I graduated, I came back home to Yakima and I ended up getting my job at the front desk at Keller Williams because I wanted to kind of do like public relations or marketing. And that position has some, but I was actually, at the time, that role was a little bit different than what it is now. And I was heavily involved in training agents to kind of do that for themselves, marketing and advertising, graphic design, and some database management. And I wasn't there for very long. A mentor of mine, Ryan Beckett, took me to lunch and was like, hey, you have this talent that you're using at the front desk here, but I really think that you should consider getting your license and applying that to your own career because I think you have this talent for that and you seem really cut out for it. And you know that the front desk's probably not going to take you in a direction that being a licensed realtor can, just because there's uncapped potential being licensed, but in an employee position, there's not. So I was like, you know what? I agree. I feel like I've been thinking those things. I just needed to hear it from somebody else. So I went and took my test, or I studied for a few months, took my test and got licensed in 2020. And I didn't cap that first year, but my second year I did cap. And I've never looked back since. And we're both, we're both top producers.
Yeah.
We're both heavily involved in our association and in our office. And I think that you and I are growing at a really fast rate. And this is, I felt like, to kind of go into why we're doing this podcast now, it's because I felt like this was a calling for you and me to take our business to the next level. And I really wanted to be able to just connect with clients and family, anybody who wants to watch this on the same level. And this is the best way to do that.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a question for you. This is not on our questions.
Okay.
So, because a lot of people might wonder, why are we doing this together? Because if you know us, you know that we're so different. So I just want you to tell them, like, why, because Jordan really came up with this idea, and he brought it to me. We talked about it last year. And people don't see this, but we do get really busy sometimes, so busy that we don't even eat, or we can't even take a break. So anyway, what brought you to this? Because this has been a long time coming. We've been working and talking about this for about a year now, at least. Yeah.
Well, so I've gotten more into listening to podcasts in the last year or two, and I feel like they're really growing in popularity. And I felt like there was this opportunity to have that here in our local market center. And I
Just
did
in Yakima
not.
in general too, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't hear too many.
And I'm sure
podcasts.
there's plenty of real estate podcasts, but I wanted to find this balance of one that is slightly real estate oriented, but more people oriented. And there's a ton of people oriented podcasts out there, but that's what people enjoy listening to. So I felt like there was an opportunity to envision a platform where I could converse with somebody and come up with these fun ideas and stories and be able to share that back. But when I was thinking about doing this, I realized that I couldn't do this by myself. I didn't want to talk to myself all the time. And I was trying to think of who I knew that would be a good fit, that is easy to converse with, who does a good amount of business, that has experience under the belt, and somebody who kind of just covers a different, diverse side of the world. And you and I have very different client bases. We have different outreach to different people and organizations. And so I felt like if between you and I, we can have really easy, natural conversation. But the outreach that we have is wildly further than if I was to choose somebody else who does everything the same as me.
Right.
But so it wasn't just for your outreach, but it's because I felt like you were just cut out for this too.
And I really appreciate it. So thank you. Because I've always thought about making a podcast, but I also think about doing a lot of things. And typically I just go for it. But I know that to do this on my own, now that I've gotten to see like everything behind the scenes, which most people won't ever see that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of technical stuff. And I don't think I know I'm techie because obviously, just my background, but I don't think that I would have been able to figure all this out on my own, I definitely would have needed help. And also same thing, I don't think I would want to talk to a camera because I like connection. I like interaction. So I'm glad that we're doing this together. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Jordan.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about why real estate. When did real estate stop being a job for you? Has it always been a job or is it more than a job?
I don't think it's been a job because I feel like I'm not even working. I feel like I'm just meeting with my friends and I'm showing them their future house.
That's perfect.
That I feel like I get a lot of people that reach out to me and ask me about like joining real estate. And I think I make it look like it's a really easy career. It's not. It's actually really hard. And most people fail within the first like 2 years. I don't know. I just feel like these are my friends. This is my family. A lot. I get really attached to my clients to where I'll even think like, oh, I'm not going to see them anymore. And it makes me kind of sad because I just
Yeah.
get so close to them. So no, it's never really been a job to me. When I first got into this, I thought like, cool, maybe I can make more money. And I get to work on my own schedule, which we both know it's not really the case.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, I don't consider it really a job. I just kind of feel like I'm having fun and I happen to get paid for it.
I think a lot
Mhm.
of people expect us to say, oh my gosh, yes, real estate is my passion. It's my
Mhm.
passion. But, and maybe most realtors say that they have a
Mhm.
passion for real estate.
Mhm.
But I think there's this very fine line that can be easy to tell
Mm.
who treats it like a job and who treats it like a
Yeah.
passion. Because this job does have an everyday hustle. If you don't get up and get out the door
Mhm.
and start working, you're not going to succeed in
Yeah.
this.
Because no one tells you what to do. No one tells you to, hey, clock in. Hey, did you do this?
Yeah.
It's
And
kind of
we
on
do
you.
plenty of education where they'll say like you should be doing this, you should be
Mhm.
doing that, but it's really only up to you to do that and get
Yeah.
that going. And so for me, I feel like part of the reason why it's a passion is I've always really enjoyed architecture.
Mm.
I've just had this knack for that where I love looking at it. I'm not an architect, but I really feel like I appreciate it almost like an artwork.
Mhm.
And then I've always been fairly people oriented. I've
Mhm.
learned to be more people oriented in this job. I just feel like there's something that you can't teach some people. It has to come natural. And it's just the foundation of being able to converse with people
Yeah.
and relate. And not everybody has that skill set. So that's why I feel like it's not really a job for me. And that's why I love real estate. I
Mhm.
think that's why you and I, we excel or we succeed at this
Mhm.
because we have that natural component.
Yeah. I think too, like kind of going back real quick to passion. I when I got into this, I didn't even know anything about real estate. I just got into it because I wanted to grow. I wanted to do something more. But I don't know that I'm passionate about real estate. I'm more so passionate about people and them growing because I mean, you can ask any of my friends, any people that I'm close to. I mean, whether you want to buy a house or whether you want to start a business or you want to buy a car or you want to, whatever it is that you want to do, I want to help you get there. And I mean, it's nice that I do real estate because I can help people do that. And it's a huge thing. I might sit here for an hour and you think Priscilla's just taking photos on her phone. I might be, but honestly, I'm probably texting like 5 or 6 different people. I'm responding to emails. Like we're always on the clock. We don't really, I feel like I never really clock out. Because most of the time when I am on my phone, I am working. I'm responding to something.
Yeah.
I'm texting someone back. I'm sending a house. So I think it's a lot of not just what I post on social media. It's also what I'm doing on my phone, where I'm driving to. It's just a lot of like little things.
Yeah, I feel like driving is like my
Mhm.
mobile office. I
Yeah.
do so much from my car every day, especially if I'm out showing houses. The emails and the calls and the texts, they don't stop coming just because
They
you're out
don't.
showing houses.
Yeah.
So, something that I feel like clients don't realize that we do is there's so much more organizational stuff on the back
Mhm.
end,
Mhm.
like being diligent about running a business,
Mhm.
taxes, and
Right.
making sure that you have dues paid. And
Mhm.
there's so many different people who have their piece of the pie
Mhm.
in a realtor's income, you can say,
Mhm.
but like we pay dues to the National Association of Realtors
For our
and Washington
office.
Realtors, our office, our local association. Different subscription and things that we have to have in order to open doors, like
Mhm.
Supra boxes and
Yeah.
stuff like
Or
that.
if people help us.
And it really does take an organized business mindset to run something like we do because we are an actual business. And I think too many people don't realize that it is a full
Yeah.
blown business. It's not just you.
Right.
It
Right.
goes beyond you too.
Right. I think too, one last thing is that people think that our office kind of does a lot of these things for us, but no, we have to do everything ourselves. Even down to like our clients, our office doesn't send us clients. I think that's something that a lot of people think, that's what we're just here. We collect an hourly and our office sends us people, and that's not really how it works.
No. How do you manage boundaries and burnouts?
I don't. I cry in my car. No, I really sometimes
That helps.
sometimes I have to. Sometimes I do. I'm not a big emotional person. So when I get to that just means that it's been a rough time. I just try to take some me time. There does come a time in the day where I'll just sit and like either do nothing or scroll like TikTok. I'm a bad TikTok user, but I don't know, just doing little things for myself. I love to go shopping. Everybody that knows me knows that I love to go to Marshall's. So just little things that I think will give me joy throughout the day. Cause sometimes I can't take, a week or 2 weeks off or even a day off. Sometimes it's months before I get an actual day off. And even then, like I said, the phone's never off, right? So we're still answering messages. We're still doing stuff. I can remember like a vacation I took last year. I think I had a few houses closing while I was gone. So that's even more stressful because I'm not here to be here for my people. So
Right. Yeah. Burnout and boundaries. So I feel like for boundaries, that's hard because it's not like I go tell clients like, hey, this is the rule. You can't text me after 8 p.m. or
Oh
whatever
yeah, I
it
was
is.
gonna ask you that. Do you do that? Because I know there are agents that do that.
Realistically, my mental deadline is like 8 p.m. I don't want to do business after that. If you got to text me or you want to text me, that's okay. But don't expect me to be setting up showings after 8 p.m. for the next day. I'm going to wait till morning because I respect other people's times. Our deadlines expire at 9 p.m. But for me, I just feel like I don't love people asking me if they can set up a showing of one of my listings after 8 p.m. because I don't want to call my clients after 8 p.m. and say, hey, somebody wants to show your house tomorrow morning or whatever. I just think that for me, it's 8 p.m. That's my boundary, but I'm not going to be upset about it. I just usually set that expectation on my end and hope that other people will kind of match that.
Yeah.
But other boundaries and things, like I feel like it's pretty fair to say that common sense is just something that I use as a boundary. Like, don't do something stupid at a showing. Use your common sense. This is somebody else's home that you're in. So I try to set some boundaries, but I'm not like verbal about them. I just think that I kind of, I don't know, I try to lead by example, I guess. And then as far as burnouts, I don't really feel burnouts very often, but it is easy to feel overwhelmed occasionally when we get really busy. And for me, it's just trying to time block time to be with my family or do something that's just different than the job. Even if that means in the summertime, like taking an evening to mow my lawn. And
oh no, please go mow my lawn so you can feel at peace.
I've seen your lawn.
I know.
You could use the help. No, I think like mowing the lawn sometimes is just it's like getting a workout in sometimes. Like you can kind of just like decompress and like forget and let your brain go wherever it has to go, And my lawn is just sometimes a little mental getaway because it's just me by myself working out basically on.
I love that. I mean, I like to go to the gym for that reason. I mean, yes, to look good, but that doesn't really, but no, that's my only me times. I don't like to talk to anyone. I don't even make eye contact with people at the gym because it's like the only alone time we get. So I definitely can relate to mowing the lawn, except I don't mow my lawn.
Well, and it's just like for burnouts, you got to find ways that keep you happy. Like this job does make us happy. We call it our passion, but there's sometimes where it can get the best of us. I mean, if you're just constantly going, if you did what you love all the time, 24/7, I almost guarantee that you'll run into a point where you don't love it anymore. And so that's why it's so important to have balance. And I think a lot of realtors do a really good job with that. For people who work other jobs and do real estate, props to them because that's hard. That's really hard. You have to do real estate in your off hours, and that's after you might have already worked a full-time job and burnt out doing that. But that's kind of another topic too, is having a job and doing real estate. I think it's difficult. There's pros and cons to that. But as far as burnout goes, props to those people who can do that successfully. What is something that really truly motivates you to keep going in this? Well, do you have a big why?
I mean, I kind of talked about it a bit, a little like at the beginning of this, but I think it's just people. I come from being raised by a single mom. I grew up very poor. So I think being able to build what I've built by myself, no connections, nobody in my immediate family has ever owned a home. So being able to do this, I bought my own house, started my business. It's a successful business. Just showing people that if I can do it, they can do it. I think that's my biggest why. And also like the money I've been able to make from real estate, what I'm able to do for either the community, help other people start their businesses, and just growth, I guess, is the sky's the limit. So why not just go for it?
That's great.
That's probably my biggest why.
I think a reason why I love real estate is the uncapped potential to do that. And real estate can fund the life that you want to live, a lifestyle. And for me, I don't have children, but I might one day. But for me, I just think that this is a really great way for me to take something that comes natural to me, monetize that by having good relationships with people and build wealth. And my big why can get broad or it can be specific. I mean, it's hard sometimes for me to put it into words, but I know that when I get up and I do this every day, there is a big why behind it. And it's not just bringing a paycheck home, but it's to build wealth and further my relationships and deepen them. I think that what keeps me going is just wanting to build more. It's growth, for both of us.
For me, sometimes I wonder though, at what point am I going to be content? I mean, I know that I'm happy, but I always want more because I see, if somebody else can achieve certain things, if they can do it, I know I can do it, which is the message that I want to, relate to my clients and to like the people around me. But I do sometimes think like, at what point will I be like, okay, this is all I want to do? I don't think I'll ever come to that, but I don't know if people struggle with that. So if you do, I don't know, comment.
I think for me, I think that I probably will get to a point one day where I'm like, I don't want to do this part of real estate anymore. There's so many different avenues that people don't know. And I do know that I want to go down the investing road eventually. For me, my dream is to like do short-term rentals like Airbnbs and stuff like that. But I'm also, happy where I'm at currently. I feel like there's a lot more hustle where we're at because it's day to day, like showing houses. I mean, that can take so much time. And sometimes I think that's what gives me the most burnout is just like showing so many houses. And I love them, but sometimes it just gets to me, And so
it only gets to me if I show them a lot of houses and then they don't use me.
Or if they just don't buy one, it's like, are you sure you don't want to just get your license so you can look at houses too? Because I'm not convinced that you want to buy one at this point. I think that eventually, though, I will feel like, you know what? I don't want to do this part of real estate anymore. I still want to be in the industry, but I want to evolve and go more towards an investing side of it. It gets rid of a little bit of the day-to-day chaos and the hustle part. I like where I'm at. I plan to stay here and keep helping people buy houses and sell houses.
Me too.
And then maybe slowly, gradually get into the investing side of it.
Yeah.
I know that you already kind of do other things than just sell and buy houses with people. You have kind of done some of this other stuff on your own as well, business stuff. So.
Yeah. So my husband and I, we own a soccer building. Well, we own a soccer league. And we own a soccer store. He does most of that stuff. I'm just kind of a girl and I show up and I say hello and I shake hands. But that came from real estate. So that was kind of always a dream and we just kind of went for it. But it was funded pretty much by real estate. So this is what I mean, like what my money can do for other people, right? I do that. But now he has his own, he's no longer 9 to 5. Now he's a 24/7 worker, but he does this and he's been able to grow this business. So I think, I love it.
Perfect. All right. Well, what are some values that you live by in your life or career? Maybe some like words you try to encompass and embody in your day-to-day life. How does it show through your work?
I think integrity and honesty are like my big ones, and just compassion or I guess understanding the other side, right? Because we work with so many different people. But honesty is probably my number one. I'm almost too honest sometimes, I feel like, because if I see something, especially with my clients, if I see something, I will tell you, do not buy this house. If I think something's off or something's weird, I'll obviously tell my clients. But yeah, honesty, integrity. Those are my main ones. What are yours?
I live by having good ethics. I have a pure heart and I want the best for everybody. I really do not believe in walking on other people to get to the goal that I want. And so I've been walked on. And maybe even a couple times I've caught myself doing something that I feel like is out of alignment with what I want to be.
Mhm.
And I try to put a stop to that really
Mhm.
quickly. But having good ethics, I think, is just the best guide through life. And so honesty, yeah, integrity, but loyalty is a huge
Oh
one.
yeah, loyalty is
I
huge.
really think that if you show strong loyalty to different people, it'll circle back. It's like
Yeah.
having a good karma. It's
Right.
the way that karma works
Right.
is what goes around comes around.
Right.
But the energy you put out, I think, comes
Mhm.
back to you as well.
100%.
So
And being a good person. Just be
yeah,
a good person. Don't lie. Don't, you know what I mean? I just, we see um, so many things in real estate, and I guess outside of real estate as well. But be a good person, treat people how you want to treat them. I always put myself in like someone else's shoes, thinking, like, wow, I would never talk to you like that. I would never treat you like that. I would never do that to you. So I would hope that they, but usually they do those things to me. But it makes me kind of see people's true colors, just because someone's nice or looks like they're nice doesn't really mean that they are
right.
nice.
What do you hope this podcast will become for us? Where do you think we'll be in a year from now? I think this is like something so good to
I
cover in the
hope
first
a year
episode.
from now we're on a beach drinking mimosas or pina coladas. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. But I hope, that people just come here and get to know us, that we just continue to grow. It just turns into something bigger that people do actually look forward to watching. That's my main thing. Exposure, the more people know us, the better it is for our brand, for our community, I think too. I think we're good people, and other people deserve to know us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
don't really, there's just so much out there. We care about our clients, we care about our business, we care about the community, because we both do things outside of just ourselves to help the community, to help Yakima, to help, Moxie, Sela, wherever we're at. So we really are here for the people. So I would hope that people see that we're genuine and that we
Yeah.
grow, that they
Well,
come hang out with us.
as great as it would be to go viral, it's not my biggest hope.
Mhm.
But I really just hope that through the guests we have and the stories we tell and the content that we create, that we
Mhm.
make people smile, that we
Mhm.
make people feel engaged. And I know that this might take a little while to catch on. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I'm just really excited to be doing this and be able to have a little bit more of a voice
Mhm.
to people. So where I want to be in a year from now is I'm hoping that we will have established a brand and it's
Mhm.
caught on and that we have some followers and that we've had people be able to come to us and say, "Hey, learned something from your show. I love that you had so
Mhm.
and so on there, and I love their story." Like that to me
Or
is
motivation, like
that's
just
going to tell me
Mhm.
what's made it a payoff.
Mhm. Oh,
So
I love
that's
it.
where I want to be. What type of stories do you think we want to tell or amplify on here?
I think it's gonna be, well, for me, mindset is huge. So having a positive mindset, I really want to talk a lot about that, and just kind of, how to continue your day to day, even when things are going on. Life is happening. Life is always happening, whether we're happy, we're sad, we're mad, there's a lot of things going on. So I think mindset is huge, and I hope that we dive into that.
Yeah, I think on the topic of mindset, I know we are going to talk
Mhm.
about this quite a bit
Mhm.
over the year. Part of the reason why I want to talk about mindset is because I'm inspired by other mindset podcasts, such as
Mhm.
Jay Shetty's On Purpose.
Mhm.
But really, I think mindset is so important for buyers and sellers and
Mhm.
realtors and lenders. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody involved in what we
Anybody.
do.
I mean, even regular business owners or even 9 to 5
Right.
people. I
But it's
mean,
really
yeah.
important because there's a lot of emotions around
Mhm.
this what we do. I mean,
Mhm.
buying and selling houses, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Mhm.
And if you go into it with the right mindset, I think that you can regulate those emotions a lot better and
Yeah.
expectations
And
as well.
also too, that's huge for our people, like if they're coming in with the right mindset, but if you have an agent with the right mindset,
Yes.
because there is so many agents that are not here for the people. They are here to collect a paycheck. And sometimes these agents are kind of hindering your house to sell, kind of, the way that they come across or the way that they treat their, like their peers is very inappropriate. So I think, again, working with the right
Yeah.
people, with the right mindset, with the right mentality, it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
I also want to tell some stories on here, and not just from my perspective, but from other people's perspectives.
Mhm.
What we want to amplify, anyways, is just some of the been there and done that type
Mhm.
stories where somebody can say, I wish I would have done this differently, or I wish I would have known this. And I'm also really excited to have a lot of our special guests on here that are going to bring some tips or tricks that people may not think about.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into selling a home that people kind of overlook, especially when it's your own home, like smells or making sure like cleanliness in certain areas. And everybody has a different standard of clean, but I think that there is an expectation that is relatively the same across the board for realtors. It's just dependent on how hard your particular realtor pushes for that standard.
Right.
And then making sure that the client understands what that expectation is. So
Yeah.
I want to tell all those things because I think that's the advice that people will take and hopefully realize, oh, like I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
So as far as who this podcast is for, I think this podcast can be for anybody. It doesn't have to be for somebody who's just looking to buy or sell. It could be for people in our industry, people who just want to support us, people who just want something to listen to in the car or at the office or at home when they're mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or when they're coming to my house to mow my lawn, please.
Yes.
If anybody wants to mow an extra lawn.
But I think that this podcast, we're designing it to be fairly broad, but specific in the real estate industry around mindset and purpose and stories to be told in real estate. So do you feel like you've had any beliefs that you've had to unlearn along the way as far as mindset goes in real estate?
I think when I first started, my mentality was, or I guess my dreams, they were so small because that's all I've ever known, right? I've always been taught to think small. Just my family, where I come from, right? It's always been like, this is the best that you can do, and that's where we need to stay. But once I got into real estate, I learned to see everyone around me and what they were doing. And I guess just even, how big their businesses got. And I just took inspiration from that, but I made it my own, right? So I think just comparing myself to a lot of my peers, the way I do things is very different, and it works for me. And it might work for, other things work for other people, but this works for me. Just keeping my mind small, limiting beliefs, I would say.
Yeah, I think
Thinking outside the box. Yeah.
for me, one of the beliefs I had to unlearn is that I can do it on my own. I don't have to rely on others or have the hand-holding all the time. I was not much of a risk taker before joining real estate, and I still don't like to take risks unless there's like this assurance of security that I'll be safe. But I've realized that I can do it. I can.
You know
and
what?
it's proven to work. So
You know what? Talking about risks, I heard a quote once, and this is, I think, great for our first episode. And I think ever since, this is years ago, and I think since then, this is why I've adopted this, I call it crazy mentality. But, we have one life to live. So why not? Why not go for it? Why not do everything that you want to do? What's holding you back? The worst that could happen is it doesn't work. And then what if it doesn't work? Oh, well, you do something else, you move on, you get over it. Life keeps going.
right.
So, yeah.
Well, and there's other quotes and stuff too. I don't know if I could say this like word for word, but you won't know what success is until you've had failures. So you have to take risks.
You have to try,
in order
yeah.
to know what failure feels like, because that's when you know what success feels like. If you get it right every time, you won't know adversity, and you won't know pain, and you won't know failure. And so,
and you have to know these things in order to grow, I think.
yeah, this isn't just in general. This isn't just real estate, but I feel like it's a principle that can be applied to real estate so easily because you got to take risks in order to do well. So I'm really excited to have some guests on our show. We have a lot of great guests lined up. We actually have right now our first 4 months worth of episodes kind of planned out. To just briefly touch, we have some people who have been through some incredible life experiences that are going to be on here. Our first guest is going to be Rachel Stiles. She works with a title company here in town. I would really definitely promote people tuning in for this one because she's got an incredible story, and she has a great outlook on life and a really amazing mindset.
And when we were talking about who our first guest should be, I think her name came up right away. Just her story and what she's been through and what she's been able to overcome is huge. So it's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I mean, her story, as well as many other guests that we're going to have in the future, their stories matter. Their stories, I think, are going to be able to help other people, and just in whatever way that they may relate to the people we have on here. Some of these stories will be real estate, and some of them are going to be more life experiences.
Some of them are just going to be juicy.
And some of them are going to be confessions, I think, hopefully. But I do encourage listeners to hopefully hear what we're talking about and take away bits and pieces. And if you have questions or you have your own stories or you have a suggestion for us, please reach out, comment, or message us. Because we're growing and building this just like we did in our career. We're newbies to this and we're really excited, motivated, but we do want to invite people to be part of our conversations because this is a platform where we might be able to have you on here as well. So please reach out. We're really excited.
Or if there's something you guys want us to talk about that is not too crazy, ask us questions. And like Jordan said, don't be afraid to interact.
Well, Priscilla, this has been our first episode. I do want to say to our guests, if you liked this episode, please share, like, comment. We want to get your feedback. Message us. You can follow us on all of our social media accounts. We do have a Instagram and Facebook page right now, and then you can find us on YouTube and Spotify. And we encourage you to use this as an ability to comment and hopefully give us some of your input, and maybe we can have you on our show as well.
Ooh, we should do that. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like a giveaway thing where your chance to be on our show.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Just like a random person. But yeah, we encourage you guys, comment down below in this video and let us know what your favorite part was, or what was something maybe that you learned about us, or what you're looking forward to. Because at this point, we're so new to this. Any feedback's going to be great.
All right. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. Our episodes will air weekly, and we look forward to where this is going. So thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you, Jordan.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning into our first episode. Come to the next one and bring vodka. Bring me a martini.